Hi everybody! Welcome to this very special video! Happy Friday to you all! My name is Sarah, I'm the artist behind Pinselgeschichten, and today I'm having a collaboration video with the lovely Nicole of Nicoles Cards and Candles. So we've been, a couple of weeks ago, been chatting about having a collaboration video, her making lovely greeting cards and stuff, and I thought, how could we do that? So I provided lots and lots of backgrounds and focal points and stuff to her that I created using things from my studio, and then it's her time to make greeting cards or candles with it. Now, in the following video, you will see back and forth jumps between things that I created, but this is the way that I create. When something dries, I work on something else. So you can watch along how I did, and then hop on over to Nicole's YouTube channel. All her social media links are in the description box down below, so you can check her out. She has a sweet channel and Facebook group and stuff. It's really sweet. If you're German or speak German, it's even better because she is just like me, situated in Germany, and her YouTube channel and also the group are mainly in German. So hop on over and have fun watching along. If you're curious how the close-up photos of stuff from the part that I provided look, hop on over to my blog after this video and after Nicole's video, of course, and read up all about it in German and English. Lots of photos, all the materials. Have fun, guys. And thanks to you again, Nicole. This was a lot of fun. I very much enjoyed myself. Have a lovely weekend, Friday, Monday, Tuesday, whenever you're gonna watch this. Have fun. Go create something. And I will see you on the next video. Bye! So here we go. Let's do some artwork. So I started off with stamping a couple of stamps for focal points that I wanted to create with Copic markers. So I'm taking black permanent ink and my stamps, and I'm just stamping various images on Copic marker paper so that I can later color and well, have a nice blend there. So I like to do that first, because on that paper, the permanent, it needs a minute or two to dry. Otherwise it might smudge a bit, and particularly with lighter colors, pastel colors, you might not want to have that effect. So I'm usually stamping my image and then give it plenty of time to dry before coming back to color and doing something else. And since I have so many ideas and so many things that I want to do for Nicole's package, I have enough time and enough things to do to have the ink for the focal points dry. So second thing I did was creating a background with transparent paper and some other stamps and the same black ink. So what I like about transparent paper is that it kind of makes the ink look grayish or more like graphite. It's not as stark black as it is on other paper. And it also kind of bleeds on the transparent paper. The ink doesn't suck in, you know? So I like that. You can have very nice designs and things going on if you want to have more of that subtle, very... it almost looks like out of focus. So I like that, but if I want to have something on transparent paper that is like really sharp and in focus, I either paint or draw that myself, or I take the help of a stencil like I just did with this dragonfly here. And I work with a permanent marker, in this case a Copic liner, and just create an image there. That could be a background or a focal point, depending on what Nicole wants to do with it. So I'm creating a lot of things for her that leave enough room for her to decide what she wants to do with it. I'm suggesting maybe what she could use it for, but I'm not saying you must do that. So I leave lots of space for her to be creative with it and to to do what she likes to do and to compose layers on the cards that she likes, and not me saying you gotta do that. So I stayed very open and very almost unfocused with my intent of the artwork that I did put in the box, in the package, for her. So the next thing I did was watercolor, and on a wet background I just compiled a few colors, pretty much like all of the rainbow colors. Then I sprayed them again with water, let it sit for a while. Things will puddle and move, and you gotta give the color a bit of time to move. And then I'm giving it a very heavy blast with my lovely hairdryer, and I can make patterns with the way the color runs away from the hot air, which intensifies maybe certain areas, and others are way more pastel then because the pigment runs away, stuff like that. So I like to play with that, and I made a whole big page here. I think it's 30 by 40 centimeters, if I remember correctly. And then once I had it completely dry, I did cut that piece to well, smaller pieces that are the size of a standard card base in Germany. I already forgot what the size is. I think it's 10 by 13 centimeters, but don't quote me on that. So I just took one of my card bases that I do have and took it as a reference, measured it, and then cut all of those pieces to the same size. So again, Nicole has the decision to, does she want to leave him that size, or does she maybe cut some parts for her to have like a border on her cards? I made it as big as possible for her to decide what she wants to do there. So I did really let the paper dry. There's no residual like liquid in the paper anymore. It's like stone dry. And then I can go on top with other stamps, not the same ones that I used before, and my Tombow markers. So Tombows are also water soluble. Just they behave like ink and like watercolor. So they do both. They're super vibrant, and you can use them just as a marker pen, but you could also dissolve them and have a watercolory look. Hence, I really had to have the paper super, super dry for the Tombows not to run. So I'm just taking different stencils that I have and different stamps, and use colors that fit the section of the watercolor paper that I'm then working on, and just make like a pattern paper or a semi-focal point maybe, and I stay very close at least to one color that is represented in the background there. Just, well, to have not too crazy things go on, but have more like a tone in tone. And again, leave it to Nicole what she wants to do with it. Does she want to have something very different on top, or something very quiet? Does she want to have tone on tone, or does she want to go crazy with the colors? She can decide. So I'm leaving that space for her in the way I design the pieces that I'm gonna send her. And yeah, I'm just going through many of my stamps that I like. I'm not having the hugest collection, but I have a very solid collection of things that I take repeatedly, and I use those. The stencil here, by the way, is from a board game. So what I like to do as well, I'm a huge board gamer. If you're new to the channel and you're just learning about me, I'm a huge board game nerd. Huge, immense, enormous. So whenever we get a new board game and I see a stencil or a thing, a part, a component in there that is super cool in shape, I take the negative of it. So in this case, this game was Mouse and Mystics, and there were leaves in there. The leaves are in the game to play, but this section, this negative around here, I can use it for artwork, and I did so many times. And I really like to have well, some of these cardboard pieces so that I can use them as stencils for pretty much €0 because we bought the game anyways, so I can use the cardboard for artwork. I like to do that quite often. It won't be the last time that you saw board game pieces in this video. But yeah, I'm just going through all of the backgrounds that well, the watercolor pieces. I don't even want to say their backgrounds because I don't know. I haven't seen what Nicole did with the bits and pieces that I sent her. So it could be that some of those are focal points or not, or maybe, or unused. I don't know. I'm just as clueless as you. And you know what? Friday morning, 9 a.m. First thing that I'm going to do, I'm going to hop on her channel and I'm going to watch what she did there. So I'm just as curious as you are, and I really loved doing this project. So again, I'm just going through different kinds of tombos here. With this one, I did liquefy the tombos on purpose. So there was no, well, error or smudge that I had to repair. I did on purpose liquefy the tombow marker of the flower. Not so much the wordy section that is around the flower. I just left it as it was stamped. But I like to change things up a tiny bit and still have them look the same or very similar. So now it's time to color with the Copics, and I'm staying very, well, with cold colors for the flowers, so cold pinks and cold greens. And I'm staying very, I would almost say, desaturated with the tones, so they're not like bam in your face, though the colors are really, really bright. But I'm staying rather, yeah, almost vintage or desaturated with the color choices. And I'm having, again, the same way to color the flowers. There's color repetition, but in every flower there's something different. So the mid flower has a bit of a darker purple that the lower one doesn't have, and that the upper one won't get. The upper one won't have a colored flower blossom petal thing. Just the stem and the leaves are going to have a very, very slight bit of a green in there, but mostly will be gray. So there's just the possibility to put them together and they will fit together, or to have them separated. Same goes for those other flowers here that I'm currently coloring on the more ornaments, or I don't know what you want to call it, that kind of a style. I would call it an ornament almost. It's very whimsical. And I'm staying with warm colors in this case, oranges, skin tones, warm yellows, and a bit of brown. And the other one will have the same yellow, but a bit of olive green. And look, again, similar, but quite a bit different to the first color, the first flower to be colored. It's very difficult for me to talk today. It's pretty hot in my studio. Yeah, I'm not making any sense. My brain is cooking. Whatever. I'm not complaining. So for the tiny bees, I just went with very subtle colors, and for the warm tones though, and the butterflies are going to be colored with mostly cold tones. So greens, teals, and blues with a bit of gray. And they're again colored similarly, but not exactly the same. So one of them has a bit of blue in there, the other one doesn't. Now for the next part, I decided, okay, I'm gonna do something with acrylic because I'm using acrylics a lot in my artwork, so I wanted that part of my way to do art represented. So I took a few of my acrylic sprays and just sprayed a whole paper piece of paper for acrylic paints, and then I went over sections with it with different kinds of stencils and did see what would I like, what could I do with it. Again, I'm using bought stencils and cardboard pieces from board games. So there's a variety there of things that I could do. And don't worry, yes, the second flower thing smudged, but it's gonna be a different thing, so I don't mind. I didn't like the upper left hand side section, so I gave it another layer and made something vintage, meaning scratching some of the layers of the acrylics and then dabbing them away, rubbing them away, which makes the background look very vintage and very grungy old, you know, very distressed. And then I took some wooden pieces that I have from projects that my husband did with a laser cutter. So we do a lot of woodwork as well and do artwork with that. And I just took some of these round pieces here and stamped tiny little floral images on them with black ink as maybe focal points or something as well that could be used on cards. So some of them are letters, some of them are owls, most of them are floral patterns, like I said. Some of the characters, I think I did stamp hello or something like that. So these would fit on a standard card that you would have landscape, in the landscape direction. These 5 wooden pieces with hello would definitely fit there. So yeah, that was a very quick and dirty kind of a part, but then again, doing woodwork takes a lot of time. Speaking of woodwork, when I do work with somebody in a collaboration, or when I send some purchased artwork out to my customers, I always send something else in there, just a tiny little thing. Sometimes it's a card, sometimes it's a shadow box, sometimes it's a frame, whatever kind of a artwork thing. I try to make something that people like, so the better I know somebody, the more I can decide, okay, this is what he or she would like, so I'm gonna make it and send it. And for Nicole, I thought, oh, I'm gonna make her a frame. So I took an old frame from an old canvas. I keep those frames even if I don't keep the canvas that is on them. And on the back side, I just added some plywood that we had cut to size, and by we I mean my husband, his laser cutter, and I. And then I'm decorating it. So I did choose a turquoise kind of a paper that is very subtle but still very fresh, and I did cut the paper to the exact size that it could fill the frame. So I'm gonna make something very simple here, just a tiny sum saying, hey, this is fun, thanks for collaborating with me, I hope you enjoyed your time as well, and here's a little tiny gift for you because I like to make them. And then I did check through my washi tape collections here. What do I want to do? And I did find a fabric washi tape that has yellow flowers on it, so I had to change up and do not take the red flowers but yellow ones, just to make it look nice and again have color repetition. So I'm having that tape all around the frame just to cover some things up that could maybe not look as nice, or that could say, oh, this is just a bit of piece from a frame from a canvas or something. I just like to do things like that. And then I'm gluing in the paper part into the frame, and on top I will have a solid layer of gel medium just to seal everything, because I don't want any dust or something to stick neither to the frame nor the paper and make it look like really shabby in, I don't know, half a year or something. So I did give it a very nice coat of gel medium. It also helps as a glue and helps with, what's it called? Water resistant. So even if something would spill, the wood wouldn't like be damaged by that or something. It's very simple and easy, and I like to make these kind of crafty things as well. It's not just painting. So then I did look through all my cardstock stack and see, okay, I want to make a box, but then I realized, oh, I cannot because the frame is too big for the cardboard pieces that I have, so I cannot make a box that the frame would fit. What do I have? Well, if you're a board gamer, you get expansions of board games, and you at one point pack them into the main game. So you have an empty box there that is super sturdy and that you could use. So this is what I'm doing here, giving it 3 coats of gray acrylic spray. If you spray inside, like I had to do here because of video filming, please wear a mask, otherwise you would suffocate with all that acrylics. And if you can spray outside, please do. Good air supply, fresh air supply is very necessary with acrylics, otherwise you get dizzy and it's not really healthy for the lungs and stuff. So just saying, safety first, you know. But I wore a mask because I had to spray inside as I was filming. So then I did rummage through my other pieces that I keep from any other projects that we do with a laser cutter, and I found some of these swirlies from a candle holder that we did for my mom, and I did just well, for one, just decorate the frame, see how it looked, and then did glue everything down that I wanted to have in that frame or on that frame with super glue. And that is very fast, it's sturdy, it holds, and you cannot really see the glue because it doesn't spill, you know. So for the 3 circles in the middle, I just stamped the word art in a turquoise color of a pigment ink, and then glued those pieces down as well. And then the frame could dry. Lots of drying. So the next day I did have to have the cardboard box and this acrylic paper here dry overnight to be able to cut it, and I just did cut all of the background pieces to size, and used other board game component pieces to have stencils for, well, funny shapes that I could well, cut some of the pieces in. So I'm having these ovals here that could either be flower petals if you like, or something totally different, and they have a flowery pattern on them with very sunny, summery kind of colors. I also just have a very thick or very big circle cutter, so I have some of those circles, and then decided, okay, I want to have a tag that Nicole could use on a card or something. So I'm just cutting all of the pieces and well, just finishing up what I did design for her, and give that little tag a hole in the middle so she could use, I don't know, baker's twine or something. There's lots of opportunities to use all of those pieces, and then I'm, well, packing them. But before I pack, I have to decorate the box because I have to separate her gift from the supplies that I'm sending her, so to say. So I'm using the same pattern paper that I also used in the frame, the same fabric washi tape, and the same wooden pieces with some ink, and I'm just writing "for you" in there. I would have loved to write it or stamp it in German, but I realized my stamp set doesn't have an umlaut U, so I went for English because they don't have any umlauts. That's such a, well, I don't want to say easy, but like simple language. It's like, so easy. You just don't make up letters in your alphabet. It's like, yeah, okay. So I just did that and glued everything down, put everything together for the lid of the box, which for one protects the frame when I ship it, and it also is just a separation between, okay, this is what I'm sending you to work with, and this is just for you. you know, I like to be very clear in my way I put packages together. If you ever received a package from me, you will know it not probably now. It's like, yeah, I remember. But it's like, just like how I roll, as the kids say today. So anyway, I'm dividing all of the backgrounds and the focal points into deli paper bags. If they fit, if they don't fit, I take bigger envelopes and just separate everything and write down on tiny little cards that I will staple to each of the envelopes what's in there, what material I use, so Nicole knows, okay, I can go with anything on top, or hey, if I go with, I don't know what kind of a supply on top, I might smudge on the watercolor or something because it's not permanent. There's just things like that that I personally think make stuff easier when you receive supplies for doing art, and you don't want to ruin anything, you know. So I'm putting them all in a box, and then I'm also signing the frame and putting that in a box with a bit of tissue paper. I did decide on white tissue paper to have color repetition for the fabric washi tape. I just like that. And then I'm putting everything in a box and I'm sending it off. And Nicole has received it. You can see her video. All of her social media is in the description box below. So hop on over to her video, enjoy it, and then look up all the background information and stuff on my blog if you fancy. There's lots of photos and material list and all the things. I hope you enjoyed watching along. Have a lovely, lovely day. Do all the good stuff, like, share, subscribe, and then go create something and enjoy your time doing creative stuff. Thanks again. Bye-bye.